There is a scene in my life that haunts me. And there is a scene in my recent life that I'm never tired of. That scene is of Mom and me on a stretch of Highway 67 outside of Marfa, traveling at the speed of sound.
This is such a wonderful movie. It's just kind of this. It's a roadmap of grief, and what this mother and her child are going through, and dealing with loss. Um, you know, they're doing a lot of right things, and they're just going on this journey. She's there in therapy. She's expressing herself through art, but then in the end, she's got to kind of make this breakthrough and talk to her mother about it, and then she's able to deal with it at the end, and she buries her brother's figure in the sand. It's a really good, just a depiction of having to deal with loss, and especially at such a young age. The two main actresses especially, were just absolutely wonderful. The lady at the bodega store, also, everybody that appeared on screen did a great job. Very convincing, very real. The acting was very good. I love the animation, the painting, and the painted look of the animation. It was a wonderful touch to this piece. Really kind of gave it a whole different life than you would expect from a movie like this. And she's having visions of her brother, and he's appearing to her in a distance, half animated and half real. Very, very cool touch. Really to get us inside her young mind that way. And I loved hearing her sing and play guitar. That was wonderful. She's very, very talented. Absolutely wonderful job. So great job on this, everybody. It's very well written, very well edited, directed. It looks great. Love the animation, well acted. I just, very good. And I hope this gets out there and gets seen, because it's very important.
Fault Line was so incredibly, oh, it was so powerful. It was so well acted. Um, I loved the really intentional, but also very poetic storytelling. There was a lot of really beautiful imagery. I loved having the narration at the top and then at the end to kind of tie it all together. It's just a really, really beautiful story about grief and loss. But I think having it from the young girl's perspective brings this innocence and kind of confusion to it all, but it's so pure. And, especially when she was talking to the woman that she was delivering food to and she couldn't understand, she's like, but your daughter's alive. We can find her. If you have family that's here, why would you choose not to talk to each other? Because, of course, if she had her brother in her life, again, she would have done things differently and she would have held him really close. And just really beautiful, really real, relatable, authentic moments. And just really kudos to this young girl who was so emotive and just truthful with her storytelling. I so loved this film. It was beautifully shot and really well directed, very intentionally done, and it was such a treat to watch.
I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was really, really fascinating. I loved the way it was filmed. I loved the different kind of perspectives and points of view that it gave you. I really, really loved that it kind of centered on and was narrated by the little girl. I loved that. I loved that perspective. I loved the way that they showed how she saw things and how she kind of viewed the world, and they explain it and everything after the accident and everything like that, but how they showed that on film and on through these different things was so beautiful and so interesting, and I really, really loved that. I thought it was such an interesting perspective. I thought it was such an interesting thing to add into it, and it really did, when you're little or when you're 10 or whatever, there really is, and I think in general, children do kind of have a magic about the way that they see and view and interact with the world. And adding another layer onto that, I thought was really, really beautiful. And then how they moved through this kind of guilt and give and take and butting of heads and just not really working together a lot of the time, a lot of the movie, between this mom and her daughter, and how they kind of move you through it all. And then to have the daughter come out and say all of this guilt that she was feeling and all of this shame that she was feeling, and getting you all the way to that point, and the scene at the end with the train right before you actually have that between mom and kid, it was so beautiful and so well done. And then the scene in the car with the two of them, I thought was so well done and so beautiful, and building you to this kind of emotional point. The entire movie I thought was excellent. I was right there with them. I loved it. I loved seeing the journey. I loved being there as you feel the mom's frustration, and they're both grieving, and you feel all of that, but you're also trying to figure out exactly why they can't grieve together, like what is going on between them. You're trying to figure it out until you get to the end, and you understand where the daughter is coming from and what she's carrying with her. And I just thought they did the entire thing really well.
This was a really strong film with great execution, great storytelling, and great performances. I thought the approach to how it was told, both through the narration and with the visuals, was really smart. Kept it interesting and it's surprising, and you left you never knowing what you might see next. Just seeing it all from the perspective as we do was really just a strong approach, and again executed really well. I thought it was a really good film, definitely one worth checking out. So hats off to everyone involved.
This was a really beautiful film. I love the soft and gentle tone of the whole thing, and I think it really accurately captured what grieving can be like for some people. There are some really wonderful elements here. The music and the watercolor paintings especially, I thought they were incorporated really nicely into the piece, and I especially loved how the animated watercolors were done. When she was talking about how emotions make her see colors, they did a great job of putting the audience right into that experience. The performances were wonderful, and I thought this was particularly true of the actress that played Sam. She brought both a maturity and a youthfulness to the role that was just perfect for her character. I could go on and on, but overall, I thought this was just a great film, and I really enjoyed watching it.
I just finished watching Fault Line. First, the musical score on this was so perfect for this film. I loved the choices that they made, and the music that they made really flowed with the film and the vibe of the film and everything. I just thought it was really cool. Second, the voiceover that your young actress did was really impressive. Great acting on everybody's part, but I was seriously impressed with her read in that voiceover, the emotion that she got across and everything. I thought that was amazing. That was great. I loved the story. The story really drew you in, and I liked how they revealed things about what was going on. The special effects with the watercolor animation and stuff like that, and blending that into, all of a sudden it went from the animated drawing to her standing on the street corner about to go into the bodega and stuff like that. Very clever. Really cool effects. And it also just helped keep you glued to what was going to happen next. It was sensationally done. The filmmakers did an amazing job with this. Great editing, and the cinematography too. I loved the locations. All of the sets in this little town. What a beautiful place. It just, yeah, this came together 100%, and it was flawless.
Fault Line was seeing grief through a child's eyes and seeing how she sees the world after her brother and her father were killed in an accident. The use of the animation in this film was really, really beautiful. I thought the transitions between what she's seeing in her mind and the real life were done really cool, really well. Just how the, real life film would turn into the watercolor animation was beautiful and really well done. I thought that the narrations were effective, another way into her mind, and the use of music, especially when they were in the car, just cutting the music for those important conversations was really powerful. And the parallels between her story and the woman that she delivers the groceries to, her story as well, worked really well to show us how grief is experienced with these different people.